part of this is going to involve better information, sharing and more timely information sharing. So that really puts us back in the GE grill, so to speak, and that's with your industrial, internet, which it seems to me would be useful on the gas electric, issue, would be valuable with respect to renewables, would have a lot of potential benefits. Tell us what you hope to accomplish with your thoughts and this kind of GE vision of industrial internet, and then I want to hear from the panel members how you all look at this in terms of it being useful in terms of some of your plans. So go ahead.
Senator Wyden, thank you. Our view is that equipment continues to get smarter, and as the internet and information age has evolved, it has unlocked new levels of asset productivity for the customers around the world. Think about the industrial internet as three key components: smarter assets, sensors, be able to talk to kind of centralized areas. Number two is much better algorithms, data analytics for being able to model-based controls, predict failures, things like that. And the third area is tying that into people productivity. People productivity in the field, bring units up quicker, maintain them differently, et cetera. Now, this is an industrial internet trend is not only for the power industry, it spans all industries, but we talk about the power of 1%. 1% increase in efficiency through the industrial internet across, for example, 50% of the world's land-based gas turbines is worth $4 to $5 billion worth of value to customers every year. By the way, that unlocks productivity. It unlocks investment. And by the way, if we take it, Senator Wyden, you talked about renewables. Take that to the world of renewables. You have a wind park of 120, 200 units. Right now is that those wind turbines gathers electricity based on what the wind is throughout the park. What we do is put sensors on all the units. When the first unit in the park notices the wind change, it adjusts all the other units at site. All of a sudden, same assets get more productivity. So industrial internet for us is all about unlocking the next level of installed base efficiency that exists. And that, by the way, touches every energy source that's out there right now. So those are a few thoughts.
All right. Anybody want to comment on the industrial internet and what it might do in terms of being useful to you?
Chairman Jesus Soto with PG&E. A slight twist on the industrial internet, and for PG&E it's being able to leverage that information to make decisions. That is, as those devices and the data collection comes in, we are in the era of big data. So for a pipeline operator is to be able to integrate all of that information, leverage geographical information systems to make decisions. And at PG&E, our focus is to make decisions on our modernization program to make our system safer and more reliable.
Anybody else? The industrial internet? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll jump in here. I think, in my view, the industrial internet is a means to an end. I think what one needs to have is to have the prices exposed to consumers, both in the gas and electric markets, in a very dynamic way. And then if you have people investing in technology down at the asset level or the device level, the industrial internet or smart grid or whatever you want to call it is going to follow. But it really relies first and foremost on making sure that we value reliability, that it's visible to consumers, not just at the wholesale level, but all the way down to the retail level. I think once you've got that in place, the rest will follow.
All right. Anything else on the industrial internet? Yes, Mr. Barrasso.
Chairman, I'll just offer, at CenterPoint, we have installed a fairly broad smart grid on the electric system. And I know primary purpose of today's discussion was around gas, but I think it's illustrative in that it does accomplish what Steve was describing in terms of allowing for the use of data on a more real-time basis to make sound operating decisions that both affect the cost associated with operating that system, as well as the system performance that consumers see. The amount of time that they're without power, our ability to know exactly where we have problems, and our ability to go address that much quicker.
Well, when I think of something like the industrial, internet, I think about the kind of thing you were up against this winter, Mr. Van Welle, in New England. You need good information and you need it quickly. And I gather that to a great extent in New England, the thought it was going to be a relatively mild winter, and then, you know, all of a sudden you're hit, and you need information.
Well,
You need
I think
hurry.
from that perspective, what we would like to have is better visibility on what's happening, not only on the electric system, but also what's happening on the gas system. So operationally, it's very challenging to be able to operate the electric system where you can't see the constraints in real time. We're getting better at pulling this information off the various gas bulletin boards, but it's still not real-time information for our operators. This is an issue that's being discussed at the FERC. What I'd like to see in the long run, particularly if the trend continues, which is I think the whole country is going to become more and more dependent on the gas system, we're going to need a lot more flexibility from the gas system in terms of balancing the electric system, and therefore that's going to drive a need for better information between these two systems. To your point earlier on, which is if we're going to put a lot of renewables on the system, we're really going to be using the gas system to balance wind and solar, and they're going to happen to be generators in the middle of this, wind generators and solar panels and gas generators, but the intermittency on the renewable side is going to have to be balanced by a very fast responding gas system. And technology is going to make that work, but it's going to require information. And so we're, I think, at the very early stages of seeing that evolution starting to occur. But the gas industry, in my view, is going to need to become more flexible, offer more flexibility in terms of their services, and offer more visibility in terms of what's happening on their system so that the electric operators can actually deal with the circumstances that they're facing.
We went something like an hour and 40 minutes without somebody using the word flexibility. And I think that is really at the heart, particularly if we're going to talk about a way to move the federal machinery around at a time, as I've indicated, where, you know, tax incentives, direct program spending, even in areas like research, are going to be tough to put our hands on. Having more flexibility, particularly with respect to, so that we use the information that we have and the industrial, you know, internet, for example, for gas electric, you know, coordination. That seems to me to be one of the most kind of fertile opportunities for us, and we're going to pursue it vigorously. All right, let me ask